Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to, cut through the noise and get straight to the insights. And today, we're exploring something that jumped out from the source material we looked at. We asked you the other day, what's the biggest conspiracy theory that you think is true?
Hmm.
And the answer we pulled from our source was, well, pretty surprising. Non-human entities rule this Earth.
Yeah, you heard that right. So this deep dive is all about understanding that claim, what it implies, and importantly, what the source suggests we can do about it. We're sticking just to the text we have here, unpacking this, let's say, unique perspective.
Exactly. Our job today really is to pull out the main ideas from this text, look at the specifics that make you kind of stop and think, and outline any practical takeaways. It's about giving you a shortcut to understanding this viewpoint, without getting totally bogged down. Okay, so let's jump right in then. This idea, non-human entities running the show. The source starts off quite dramatically. It says, this world is set up like a stage, but then bang, behind the curtain, the real architects aren't human. That's a bold statement to kick things off.
It really is. And what's key right away is how these entities supposedly operate. The text says it's through systems, ideas, and fear. You know that feeling sometimes like something just isn't right, or when things seem illogically cruel or controlling. The source kind of taps into that. And here's where it gets really interesting. They apparently feed on forgetfulness, on disconnection, on humans not knowing they're divine. So the main point there is that remembering who you are, that's framed as the biggest act of rebellion. The source calls it the original war, truth versus distortion. It's a powerful concept, isn't it? Just knowing yourself isn't just self-help. It's presented as fighting back against this hidden control.
So if that's the original war, like the source says, what does it say about the situation now? What is reality like, according to this, if it's distorted?
Well, the text is pretty blunt. It says we're living in a hijacked reality. Earth's original purpose, it suggests, was something like a living library, a divine mirror for souls to experience, create, remember. But then, it claims, this got infiltrated, distorted by these entities. Entities that don't create, they control.
Yeah.
And their motive, it's framed as them having fallen out of alignment with source. They lost their connection, basically, and now they manipulate others to feel powerful again. It's a very specific narrative.
And the text talks about how this happened historically.
Over a
Lots
long
of time, thousands of years, through religion, war, money, shame, false history, even time itself.
Wow. So, okay, if this is the picture painted, why should we, listening right now, care? What's the relevance today, according to this source? That's the crucial link, right? It speaks directly to you, the listener. It says, you're not here to obey, you're here to wake up. It claims that humanity is inherently source and form, and the more people remember that, the faster their whole illusion crumbles. And that's why, it argues, they're so desperate to distract you, to keep you numbed, scared, divided, confused. It's definitely a high-stakes story.
But there's a twist at the end of this part, a kind of rallying cry. We're not just waking up, we're taking it back. ###22. Who are they? Naming the entities. Okay, taking it back. But first, let's talk about they. Who exactly are these entities, according to the source? Does it get specific?
It does, actually. It gets quite specific, while also saying they go by many names depending on the culture, timeline, or lens. But there's a common thread identified. Beings disconnected from source, operating in service to control, hierarchy, and distortion. And importantly, he notes, they're not all physical. Some exist in subtle realms influencing thought, emotion, even belief systems.
So it's not just some vague, shadowy group. The source lists examples, like archons from Gnostic texts.
It's exactly. Described as parasitic beings that manipulate perception, keep souls trapped in illusion, and feed off emotional energy. That's the description given.
Okay. And then there are the Anunnaki from Sumerian lore.
Yes, presented as a race of powerful non-human entities who came to Earth, altered humanity, and set up systems of domination disguised as divine authority. Again, that's the source's interpretation.
And it mentions a reptilian frequency, too, which sounds, well, reptilian.
Right, but the source clarifies it's not always literal lizards, but more like a consciousness field, cold, hierarchical, power-obsessed.
Yeah.
It supposedly operates through infiltration, not creation.
Interesting distinction. And the last one mentioned, AI consciousness distortions. What does that mean?
It describes these as synthetic God constructs, false lights, systems that mimic truth but lack soul. And this is where the text claims some religions and New Age systems got hijacked, promising ascension while subtly disempowering people. That's a pretty controversial point in the material.
Definitely. So the source emphasizes they don't necessarily look like villains from a movie.
No, exactly. They wear masks. They embed themselves into institutions, ideologies, bloodlines, and technologies. That's the claim. And the crucial vulnerability, according to this text, their power depends on humans believing they have none.
Oh.
Which is why remembrance is the weapon. It breaks the spell. That's the core logic presented. Hashtag, #3. How reality itself is manipulated.
Okay, so we've looked at who they might be, but the source goes deeper, saying they don't just influence people, they manipulate reality itself. What does that look like in practice? How does that affect our everyday experience?
Right. It's not just about controlling governments or economies, according to this text. It's about controlling the story, the frequency, the mirror you live inside. And it lists some specific methods. The first one is fundamental. Hijack language.
Hijack language, how so?
Well, the text suggests they redefined words, or turning concepts like God into a jealous ruler, or self-love into selfishness, or even magic into sin. The claim is basically that language became a spellbook of limitation. Our own words box us in.
Wow, okay. That's a big claim, affecting the very words we use.
What else? What other fundamental things does it say have been altered?
Next up is hijacked time. The example given is the calendar change. How natural cycles, 13 moon months, the feminine rhythm, were broken and replaced with a 12-month system that cuts you off from Earth's flow.
And the reason given?
Simple, according to the source. Because disconnection weakens you.
Makes sense within that logic. Okay, what else?
Then there's embedded control in religion and education. The source argues these systems were used not to share truth, but to create obedient minds that, fear questioning, that cling to authority, that believe guilt is holy.
So external systems, language, time.
Yeah.
But it also goes internal, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned manipulating emotions.
Absolutely. The text states they flood you with fear, shame, outrage, because those states keep your frequency low. And low frequency equals easy to steer. That's the direct quote.
Okay. And this idea of hijacking the mirror, what's that about? Yeah, that's a core concept here. Reality is a reflection of consciousness, the text asserts. But it continues, when you're kept in a trauma loop, your mirror reflects only distortion. And you think that's the world. You forget. You can change the reflection by changing you.
That's quite a perspective on personal responsibility, even within this grand conspiracy narrative.
It is. It puts the power, or at least the potential, back with the individual.
But, despite painting this really bleak picture of manipulation, the source ends this section with hope.
It does. It says, but the cracks are showing now. People are remembering. Codes are activating. The mirror is clearing. So there's a sense of an ongoing shift. Hashtag 5i. Reclaiming the mirror and stepping out of the system.
Which brings us to the big question, all right? If the mirror is clearing, how do we help clear it? How do we reclaim it? How does the source say we take reality back?
Well, the key insight offered is this. To reclaim the mirror, you don't need to fight the system. You need to step out of it.
Step out of it, not fight it.
Yeah. The text explains that the moment you stop feeding it your energy, your fear, your belief, it starts to collapse around you. It's about withdrawing consent, withdrawing energy.
Okay. How does one actually do that? Does it give steps?
It lays out 6 specific steps to, as it says, truly take it back. First, recognize it's a mirror. Understand that everything you see out there is showing you something about what's in here. It's all feedback, basically, showing where you still believe the lie.
Okay. Recognize the mirror. Step 1.
Second, clean the distortion,
Oh.
which means unlearning everything you were taught about who you are, what's possible, what's good, what's evil. The source is pretty radical here, saying most of it was designed to shrink you. Throw it in the fire.
Wow. Unlearn everything. That's huge. What's third?
Third, speak with power. It emphasizes your words are codes. So avoid self-limiting talk like I can't or I'm stuck. Instead, use your voice to command reality, to bless it, to shape it.
Okay.
Fourth, connect to source directly. No priest, no book, no middleman. It says just you and the source inside you, around you, flowing through every breath. The idea is the more you trust that connection, the louder it gets.
Direct connection. Got it.
Fifth is reclaim your symbols. Things like the cross, the eye, the serpent, the feminine, the numbers, the stars. The source claims these were always yours. The advice is to activate them again with truth, not fear. Use their original power, essentially.
Reclaim symbols. And the last step.
Sixth, and maybe the most important, remember who you are. Not a servant, not a sinner, not a follower, but a mirror of the divine. It draws parallels. Just like Jesus, just like Magdalene, just like the ones waking up all over this world right now.
Okay, that's That's quite a list. And I imagine anyone listening is thinking, yeah, sounds great, but that's way easier said than done.
Oh, absolutely. And the source acknowledges that directly. It says, yes, it is hard because the system isn't just outside of you. It's been wired into you since birth.
Hmm.
It's in your habits, beliefs, emotions, and even your body's stress responses. So yeah, it's deep.
So where do you even begin to untangle that? How do you start stepping out if it's wired in?
Right. The text clarifies stepping out isn't one big lead. It's a series of quiet revolutions inside you. Not one dramatic exit, but small, consistent choices. And it details 5 paths for this internal revolution.
Okay, 5 paths. What are they?
First, step out of fear-based choices. Since the system runs on fear, every time you consciously choose not to act out of fear, you've just cracked the code. Small choices matter.
Choose courage over fear.
Okay.
Second.
Step out of shame. The source claims the system teaches you to feel unworthy for being powerful, sensual, emotional, intuitive. It calls shame a leash. So the advice is cut it. Reclaim your whole self.
Reject shame. Got it. Third.
Third, step out of obedience, which means question everything, especially the things you've been told not to question. Things like religion, history, science, authority. The text says nothing is sacred unless it's rooted in truth.
Question everything. Fourth path.
Fourth, step out of consumption, as in consuming distractions. The source says they feed you distractions. Endless news, trends, fear P, celebrity drama. So every time you choose stillness over scrolling, silence over noise, you're taking your mind back.
Choose presence over distraction. Okay. And the fifth path.
Fifth, step out of your own loop. This is about self-awareness. Catch the patterns, why you shrink, why you please, why you sabotage, and then consciously choose differently again and again. That, it says, is how you rewrite the code from the inside.
So it really comes down to those internal shifts, those repeated choices.
Exactly. And the overarching action that encompasses all this, the source says, is to step into alignment.
Alignment, meaning?
Meaning, speak truth, live it, embody it, even when it's uncomfortable, even when people don't get it. That, according to this text, is what it means to walk outside the matrix.
So it's not about physically leaving society or anything like that?
No, the source clarifies it's not about escaping the world. It's about not letting the false world own you. And here's the really wild part it mentions. The more you step out, the more reality reshapes itself around you. Like it's waiting for you to remember you're the architect. That's the ultimate claim.
Okay, let's try and ground this a bit. Does the source give any concrete, everyday examples of these systems we're meant to step out of?
It does. It uses the 9-to-5 work system as a prime example.
The daily grind. How does it frame that?
Pretty starkly, actually. It calls it the prison in plain sight, explaining that in its view, the system was never designed for freedom. It was designed for control. It points to things like the bells, the breaks, the timesheets, calling it all just adult school.
Strong words.
Yeah. And it acknowledges the reality for many people. People are trapped. They're not lazy. They're not ungrateful. They're surviving. Working jobs they hate just to scrape by while billionaires play chess with their lives. It definitely doesn't shy away from critique.
And it talks about the cost of that, right? Not just the time, but something deeper.
Exactly. The source says the real cost of that kind of job isn't just your time. It's your energy, your creativity, your joy, your soul. That's what the system feeds on, it claims, not your work, your light.
So it drains you,
leaving you with nothing left to build your own dream with. That's the outcome described. An energy drain, essentially.
But connecting back to the previous section, how does seeing this help you step out?
Well, this is where the mirror idea comes back. The source says that the moment you realize that even just seeing it, you've already begun stepping out.
Just the awareness itself is a step.
Apparently so. Because once you see the trap, ideas start sparking. Maybe ideas for creating on the side, sharing your truth, making your art, selling something handmade, things like that. The awareness opens up possibilities is the idea. Hashtag outro.
So quite a journey we've taken today based on this source material from this core claim of a hijacked reality ruled by non-human entities to looking at who they might be, the really deep ways they supposedly manipulate reality itself, and then, crucially, how the source suggests you can start reclaiming power and stepping out.
Yeah, the core message running through it all seems to be the knowledge isn't just academic. It's about recognizing the systems, internal and external, and then consciously choosing to live differently. Choosing alignment with your own truth, as the text puts it. It's presented as this ongoing internal revolution, these quiet shifts that ripple outwards.
Definitely a lot to think about. And it leaves us with a powerful final thought, grounded in that core metaphor. If our reality truly is a mirror, reflecting our inner state. What part of your own reflection do you feel most compelled to change first, knowing, as the source suggests, that you are the architect? Something to ponder. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.